Hi. So the week is on here where we have the earnings of Nvidia coming up. It's tomorrow, 20th. So from the looks of it, it does look simple. I mean, the chart is from the chart perspective, visual perspective, it is not complicated, but there are a few caveats I'm seeing, and that does tells me that there's a probability, or rather a good probability, it can burn the premium before it can, make a proper move. Having said that, let's analyze. So, here somewhere here it had made a low around 11, 1081, 11, and then all the way till 80 and 90. Okay. And from there it corrected and then launched again. So, these are not random things. These are from this low, it completed a very big cycle to 81, and then it pulled back. Rather, it reset the cycle high to 225, 230, somewhere here. Okay. So your actual target is around here. I'm not putting the exact number, but 225 to 230. This is your actual target. But this year, starting January, it ran like crazy. It almost doubled, or almost 2.5 to 3x. It went from this low, pre-split 1250. So that was the cycle target before the split. And from there, it corrected back to 90. I mean, pre-split, it was like 500 or 600 something. And then from there, it came and it tested that. See the cycle high, it tested back again and it held. And now it is above this 137, because this was your previous high zone and this cluster is there. So that's why it is holding this 137, 133. And it will still be an important thing now, uh, before the earning, if it holds that 133, 137, these two numbers it holds, then it has a good chance to move up. Now, the other caveat is it has been resisting that 146, 147. It has been doing that for quite some time, and it's not able to, cross over, for the lack of a better word. The reason is that because it has ran so much, it doesn't have enough space. It has reached a ceiling and there is no space for it to move forward. And the confluence is also coming at 146 point, 147, let's put it that way. 147 for the monthly exhaustion level. So this is November. So for November, at least 147 is a very congested point, and that's where it is struggling. So two layers of confluence coming in, and from a monthly perspective, we can see that, the body is, I had asked, why 121 would be important, because see this around 123, if you want to go exact. So 123, 123, and 121, and this 122. So approximately on an average, 121 to 123 is where it is trying to hold on a higher frame level. So let's say Nvidia resolves to the downside, then this number will be very important if it wants to cross over or not. Let's say 140, I will consider all this a very mesh reaction, meaning 121 to 160 or 153. This would be like more of a sideways action. I mean, percentage wise, yeah, you may call it, oh, it went up, it went down, but it is still in a strong range where it has still not picked up a direction. So for the downside, look 121 to break and see if it wants to come down and test your 116 to 103 area. These technically, these two lines would be the breach. So 116, 107, 100, let's not go there, but on a bigger level, I had 116 to 103. So that takes care of your downside. Now, upside is if it manages to hold on to 137, your next big hurdle is 147, because it has to break the ceiling with a force, which means Nvidia, like Tesla, need to come up with something uh, which will help crush that ceiling and let it exit out. Like Tesla exited 214 with a bang and 100 and more than 100 points. It landed directly at 358. Oh, no, that's not 100 points. That's a lot of points, 100, almost 150 points. So likewise, NVIDIA also needs that kind of power to exit 147. Another caveat is, since we said 225 is your cycle target, which will be a third bigger cycle. This is very important to remember in context of cycles. It has been continuously running from the low of 11 and without any major correction. Let's put it that way. The word major will be important. Without any major correction, it has been going up, and assuming it continues that way. Let's say the market is very good, there's a melt up, and Nvidia goes towards 200, 225 cycle target, that will be your biggest inflection at that point. So if something needs to turn over, all your macros may start coming around that time, because it is three big cycles going to come there for the, semiconductor, let's put it that way. So assuming it exits 147 and 225 is your target cycle for future, not tomorrow, not day after, future, your 153 is an important crossover. So 147, 153, it has to take off and stay on the other side. Let's say it's a river, it needs to cross the and stay on the other side of the bank. So if it is staying over 153, then we can say, okay, it is trying to move towards the higher cycle. It tries to stay below 153 because 147 is your ceiling, okay? So let's say it breaks the ceiling and goes over 153, but is still trying to settle around 153. So that can take a lot of time in order for it to decide, make space, because remember, you're building a building. So it takes time to build the floors, to create space. And that's what it has been doing. So 147, 153, how it is treated here will define your next move. And how your 137 to 121 is going to be treated will define your next move towards the downside. So technically, it is in a big congestion range, which is between 121 to 153. Any move within this, I will still consider it a very range-based rate. Percentage-wise, yes, 2%, 5%, it can do, we can call it any percentage increase, decrease. But the bigger move cycle-wise has still not happened. That's the reason you see all these spikes going on here. Now, in order to play the earnings, one thing we have to take into account is it's Nvidia. A lot of people are keeping an eye on it. A lot of people must be betting, and it's semiconductor, and semiconductors has been pretty weak. They have not been given a break up till now, and SMCI is loaded with the news and blah, blah, blah. So overall, this sector has been weak. So if at all, Nvidia also comes lower in terms of expectations, then we can expect a correction in the indices and overall market, because remember, futures, when the contract changed in September, yes, September 56.40, around here, there is a gap for the future that has not been filled yet. Now, last week, Friday or Thursday, ES did come to early 5800s, or XPX came to in 5700s, but it didn't go there. It is not going there, and it tries to keep not filling the gap. That's a thing of worry for us. But these could be the events which can, help it to go and fill that gap. Plus, it can also help release a lot of pressure. Things have been moving, and it hasn't gotten a chance to release a lot of pressure. So ES on your NQ is also up there. Uh, they want to move up, but again, there's not much energy to do that. Now, if NVIDIA moves up, then of course we'll have a bang on Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving rather, and we can see 153 to 175 move first. That will be there. But if a lot of people are betting on it, I personally feel the best way to do it is just make a very muted move so that you kill all the premiums, though the IV is not that high. The IV is only in 50s for December, January. So I'm thinking, why is that? Because otherwise, for other stocks, the IVs was very high in 100% or more than 100%, and this is still at 50%. So if I want to play the earnings, I'm thinking to go minimum January. I can play December, but for some reason I feel so this is what I was thinking. January 165 and December 125, it is for $7. I still haven't found a good put side protection, which will be cheaper so that, my call side is justified for our overall trade. The other one which I found which is a butterfly, one for 30 wide for under $5, and a protection is for 2 point, it is showing now. So hopefully tomorrow it is at a better pricing. So on the put side, I haven't still found something reasonable where if it doesn't make a big move, but it is down, I can still protect my capital. And on the other side, I want to buy enough time, considering December could be a, what do you call, Santa rally, assuming there is a Santa rally, because December, we know few years it has puked and it has puked bad. So that's why I want to cover a little bit more time on these. And otherwise, I was also thinking February 170 call and January 125 call, but it makes it really costly, $10. And Nvidia can really kill the premium. So I definitely don't want $10. But if I go 170, then I'll see what is the best way to play this 125. Maybe this could be a better idea, still putting it around $7, $8. That way, good. I don't want to play calendars because not much premium on the lower side. And if it makes a big move, then, my calendars would come under pressure. So probably I could look at 120 still, but I think November 22 doesn't have much premium. Yeah, for 78 cents, this is okay, but then the expected move is 13 points. So if it wants to actually go and hit that, then I don't want to manage the calendar. Let's put it there. I'd rather pay $1 more and then be with straight puts or calls than, manage the calendar. So that's the idea, but I will still look tomorrow to see if I can find a more feasible trade, which is buying me time, which is also within the range, with the strike is also within the range, and also it doesn't cost my pocket too much, and I'll still get a better output of that. So the whole idea of playing earnings is, in my opinion, design a trade which makes more sense in terms of where the stock can hit. So I design the strike based on the targets I see, and it doesn't cost too much, or rather doesn't adds the risk too much in order to play that. If it moves very well, then, like Tesla moved very well. So we got a very good reward on that move. Coin moved very well. So we got it. So, occasionally those kind of plays are golden. But otherwise, like Disney, we played 110 calls and it went to 115. Super move. And it was very cheap. The call was only 1.4. The put side was only 80 cents, I think, if I'm not wrong. So under $2 or $2, let's put it that way. For $2, We exited at 5 point something. So that's fantastic overnight. So that's why I generally try to design plays which cost less, but it's still within the range of the strikes moving, the stock moving, and there is some reward. At least 20 to 50% reward is there in options. And once in a while, we hit very, very good goals in those if the stock makes a very big move. So let's watch this NVIDIA, this red line, 137 this side or that side, then 153 if it can stay on that side. And then you have 121 that will be really bearish. Below that will be really bearish for NVIDIA and probably rest of the market. So as of now, it has been moving in this channel, and assuming it stays here, and it is this week. So your week high is also coming around 157, 158. Okay. So if it wants to go here, so around 156, 157, it's where your upper cycle is, which matches with your 153. Now, a fantastic move would be, 160, 160 between 175. That could be your good move. And down move, which is 157 to this 121. See, your slanted angle is also falling on 121, around there. 120, 121. So it exposes this portion. So that's why for this particular play, having some protection is good, but more than that, buying time is far important. That will help save some capital. And I've seen a lot of times NVIDIA takes quite a bit of time to move. So having 2 months in hand, 3 months in hand is actually a good idea. And let's say it makes a big move. Either you can book it or you can roll it. Like for Tesla, we had rolled our calls. We had 270 calls we had bought. Then we rolled it to 300. Then we rolled it to 360. So rolling that, we not only kept booking a good chunk of profit, we were still in the game, but it didn't cost us any money because at that time it was free. We had already booked a profit, but still in the game. So those kind of things actually helps. But if you know what the pivot is, what the level is, what the cycle number is, then it really, really helps to play around the options. So in my desi language, I would say jugaad. Options are nothing but a jugaad. Jugaad is like, playing with clay. You can mold it any way you like it, but if you know the game. So for me, it's pretty interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are and what kind of play you're going to do. Post and comment, guys. I know I do ask you guys to post, like, and comment. I do get the likes and all, but I don't get any comments. Um, it is a good idea, I like to get engaged and in conversation, and it's always good to know that I've done this analysis, I've made a video, which I'm too lazy to do that, believe me. So I'm doing that. So it really is helpful to know what you guys are also thinking. So do drop a comment so that I know, okay, what's happening out there and what other people are thinking. That also helps to gauge what the stock is going to do, because the sentiment matters. At the end of the day, we are just trading off each other. I trade you, you trade me, and that's how the price sentiment or the price action happens. So if we talk, then we know. Okay, so all the best for Nvidia earnings, and let's see which side the camel sits, or the horse sits. No, the camel sits. Okay, have a great day and see you guys soon.